Why is the need for efficient and reliable retail technology more pressing than ever? With dispensers, whether conventional fuel or clean energy, undoubtedly the lifeblood of any service station, retailers need to consider their options when it comes to ensuring reliable equipment on site. In the 5th episode of the Smart Mobility series, we examine the importance of reliable refueling, consumer expectations from retailers and service stations, and how unreliability can impact fuel retail business and the customer experience. Today we are talking with Business Development Director Domenico Sicilia, Sales Director Sergio Pisano, and Regional Sales Manager Florence Houlbert from Dover Fueling Solutions. Today on episode 5 of our Smart Mobility series, I'm joined by Domenico Sicilia, Sergio Pisano, and Florence Houlbert as we examine reliable refueling. Dispensers, whether conventional fuel or clean energy, including hydrogen, LNG, EV and CNG, are one of the most important pieces of equipment on any fuel retail site. With many retailers looking to future-proof their business and forecourt, the need for efficient and reliable retail technology is more pressing than ever. Domenico, why is reliability at a service station so important?
Yes, in a service station it's very important, the reliability. Basically, you need to keep your customer satisfied, and this is based on different principles and different concepts. Your station, your equipment must be reliable. You must guarantee efficiency, high performance of the equipment, safety, accuracy. You need to be user-friendly. So all these elements together with the quality of your technology create that satisfaction in the customer, and reliability is definitely a key factor for a filling station and for its equipment.
Of course.
So let me add a couple of comments. Of course, reliability is also important to give trust to our customers, to make sure that we will be able to give to our end customer the loyalty they need to go back to the station. Reliable equipment will be able to help end customer to come back to the station. So that will create a business continuity. That will create also a good brand image and reputation. So the key is the equipment need to work, be on time, make sure that our customers are satisfied, to create that positive loyalty to the brand. Not only that, is also part of the safety that we need to keep high in our petrol station. So to make sure that our equipment is safe enough to comply to the regularity, and also to make sure that all end customers are safe.
Great.
Yes, well, I totally agree with everything that has been said. I just wanted to say that for me, the most important is to be sure that the price charged corresponds to the number of liters of gasoline that I put in my tank, regardless the weather conditions. So everything is important, but well, from my point of view, the most important is the reliability and the price charged for the volume delivered.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to that expectation, doesn't it? In the world that we're in now, people expect a certain level of service, and when that expectation is not met, it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth and kind of can really affect your perception of whatever fueling station that is not considered reliable. So just touching on that, Florence, I'll come back to you. What do fuel retail customers expect from retailers? Because you touched on the fact that the price per gallon should be accurate. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, well, a very important point is for the retail consumers is to have a fully working dispensers with clean and unbroken nozzles. This is really important. But for me, another expected point is to benefit from long enough hose in case my tank is opposite to the fuel dispenser, because this is really, really important. And I would say that another point is to have the pay at the pump. This is quick and easy and very useful when the shop is closed. So yes, that are also important points.
Of course, ease of use, I think, is key there, isn't it?
Yeah, clearly.
Well, we can add also an important point for the retailers. It's to make sure that their experience is positive. An important things that Dover can offer to their equipment is a payment on board of the dispenser, which will help them to avoid to queue, to avoid to have the time wasted at the cashier, So pay the pump will be a personal experience without having to go into the shop and supporting the customer to run during the day. Another point is very important is our components, which is field proven, and the accuracy of our components, that we trust to the customer that they make sure that what they buy is what we serve to them. Domenico, if you want to add something else.
Yes, I agree with all the points that we said. They are all very important. The ultimate goal is that we need to keep the customer experience or consumer experience really at 360 degrees, covering all the aspects. So it's not only the dispensing, but it's the accuracy, the safety, the user-friendly approach, and the service. So basically all this together has to create a customer experience that basically brings a positive feeling, a loyalty, a satisfaction, because that's basically what retailers are looking, is to create a satisfied consumer that basically recognize the brand, recognize the site, recognize the network as reliable, and then will come back. This, of course, will generate also economically some positive effects, effects on return on investment that will be faster, with more volume, with more basically loyal customers coming to your sites.
Yeah. And you've actually touched on something there where you mentioned satisfaction and customer satisfaction. So in terms of reliability, not just on the forecourt, but also in the C-store, and it being the full package, why is it important? Why is reliability important for customer satisfaction and retention?
Well, I think regarding the shop, is also combined with what we say on what is happening on the forecourt on the island. So you need to also provide payment and systems. You need to provide media, multimedia options. There is, let's say that the filling station is not just the filling equipment itself, but there are many things that come together and they go combined on the island, but also on the shop. And that's where we always, as a company, need to support our customers to provide a full package solutions.
Yeah, non-reliable equipment is creating that sense of loss of trust.
Yes.
To the end customer. Is give that situation where they go to a station, they found an out-of-service pump, they need to move to another station, is creating frustration in our customer, is making lose money to our customer that purchase our equipment. So it's very important for us to make sure that our equipment is always working. And not only, we also need to consider that our field-proven equipment give a TCO, so a total cost of ownership, that is reduced to the minimum, to give the less cost as possible for service and maintenance. So that point is also important to make sure that our equipment always run in a perfect condition.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I said, reliability is really important. I know that if I feel like I've been ripped off on price, I will never come back to the station, and I will also tell people about it.
Yes.
So for me, this is a big issue, very important, important point.
I think a lot of people underappreciate how much an out-of-action dispenser or not a fully working dispenser can really impact their customer base. And I think that making sure that your equipment is fully functioning, it's accurate, it's safe, it's clean, they all kind of tie into this whole customer satisfaction that we touched on earlier. So in your opinion, Sergio, I'll come to you first. How can retailers ensure their equipment can provide a reliable experience for customers? We've touched on a few things, but are there some key specific things that you would like to mention?
Well, that is a significant impact on the retailer. As we said, or what we said before, we need to make it very clear that our equipment can offer user-friendly approach to the end customer. Our equipment can offer the best accuracy meter in the market. All these things that we explained before is giving that approach, that level of confidence for our end customer. if this will not happen, that it will start to create an issue to the end customer, that will be all the side effects that will make, of course, the stress to the driver that's arrived at the station. It will create a problem to the owner of the station, creating additional cost and having the service additional cost. Actually, Dover Fueling Solution is, with their technology, is implementing new solution like the RDM, which is giving a service access in real time, and not only monitoring, but also the capability to modify or serve the pump remotely. So all this stuff will help our end customer to be always on the latest technology, offering to the end customer the best technology in the market and the best user-friendly experience. So there are several reasons why a working fuel dispenser will offer a best experience to the drivers.
Yeah. Sounds like this sort of solution allows retailers to become proactive instead of reactive, and it allows them to plan in advance.
Absolutely. That is our point, to try to make sure that the situation will change, that will be a cost reduction for all service company, oil companies that we can use our equipment.
Well, as Sergio said, the DFS provides a fuel meter that ensures accurate metering in all conditions, whether it is freezing or in the middle of a heat wave. And I would say the DFS fuel dispensers have been engineered to maintain this accuracy.
Yes.
And they require less maintenance and last longer. This is very important to be aware of.
I think as well, like that kind of, we've talked a lot about the reliability in terms of it being safe and it being clean, and talking about just making sure that the dispenser's available. However, you touched on something really important there where you're saying like the security, like knowing that the pump that you're going to is secure from fuel theft and tampering, because that again ties back into that trust aspect that Sergio had mentioned earlier on. So you bring up a very valuable point, and that's very key for this reliable refueling episode that we're doing today.
Yes, basically, as DFS, we pay a lot of attention. For us, this is very important to keep the level of quality, of safety and accuracy on all the parts and components. So it's really something that starts from the beginning, from the production, from the engineering concept of the products, of the systems that we provide, that need to guarantee all these high levels of quality intrinsically. This will create in our customers, on the operators of the stations, a trust, a confidence level, a service. Also very important, the point that also Sergio highlighted before, the capability to service, to support, because the equipment needs periodic checks, maintenance, and so on. So to be very close to all the operators, so that the uptime of the equipment is always there. You have a high uptime for the operators of the stations means building trust, building confidence, and users feel confident that they can go to those sites and get the best service, the best quality, the best experience they have. We as DFS pay attention a lot to these aspects, and basically we implement them since the very start, with the quality and the technology of our products.
Let's not, sorry to interrupt you, Judge. Let's not forget, for us, it's very important, the brand reputation. So we want to make sure that our main customer, the oil company that give us trust in purchasing our equipment, they need to make sure that they trust us and we protect the brand for any issue. As we said, an happy customer, it will create a repercussion in all the business. So brand reputation is very important, and we need to protect it.
Of course. And it definitely sounds like, from what we've discussed today, that a reliable refueling experience for a customer is not just about the dispenser itself. It's a whole host of things that all come together to kind of create that trust, the security, which can then lead to customer satisfaction, retention, and hopefully long-term customer loyalty. And I think one of the key takeaways that I hope our listeners get from this today is that although a dispenser might be out of use, it's not just downtime and potential loss of revenue, it's also potential loss of customer and future customer due to bad experience traveling by word of mouth. And I think that's something very valuable that we can take away from this discussion today. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
And We look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you,
See you
Sarah.
soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Reliable Refueling, the 5th episode in our Smart Mobility series. We hope you enjoyed this episode with Domenico, Sergio and Florence. If you'd like to support the podcast, feel free to share it with others, post about it on social media or leave a review. To catch the latest from Dover Fueling Solutions, you can follow us on LinkedIn or visit our website at www.doverfuelingsolutions.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week where we continue to fuel the conversation.